needed that game. We needed the exposure. We felt like we could compete.
When the university branch over at Chapel Hill will play us, then we'll play the other branch in Charlotte.
I did everything I could do, you know, short of having a controversy.
We've made certain proposals which have been, they haven't been acted upon.
If they ever had it played here in the Charlotte Coliseum, we certainly have to bring out the seat stretchers, because it'd probably be the biggest mob scene you've ever seen.
The rivalry that isn't yet is being brought to you by Bost, bakers of country grain, nature's own natural bread with no added preservatives, and by Queen City TV and Appliance, your local RCA and Lytton headquarters.
Queen City TV is out to make sure that this won't happen this Christmas. This year, Woody Player joins with Lytton and the Marine Corps in the Toys for Tots program. Bring all your new unwrapped toys to Queen City TV, and Woody Player will give you $10 off the purchase price of a Lytton meal-in-one microwave for each toy brought in. Woody says, buy Lytton's best, the meal-in-one microwave from Queen City TV, and help a child have a Merry Christmas.
You know, there's something about rural Carolina. It just never seems to change, and that's good. It's a little like Bost Old Hearth bread. It doesn't change either, and that's good, because you see, Bost Old Hearth is just plain old-timey bread, baked the way bread is supposed to be baked. It's so loaded with flavor, so rich, so tasty, good at any meal. So good, in fact, we call it the 3 meals a day bread. Old Hearth, another fine loaf of bread from the ovens of Bost.
Charlotte is a vibrant, growing city approaching 400,000 in population, a gleaming new skyline, and the exciting atmosphere created by people on the move. It comes as no surprise that such a setting includes an appetite for sports. The Charlotte Motor Speedway is emerging as the hub of NASCAR's Grand National Circuit. Since 1960, the top-name drivers from Fireball Roberts and Joe Weatherly to Fred Lorenzen to Richard Petty have made headlines at the sprawling mile-and-a-half oval. David Pearson scored his first ever Grand National victory here in the 1961 World 600. $4 million in prize money has been awarded, and with 19 regular competing Grand National teams now headquartered in the area, the Queen City is fast becoming the capital of stock car racing. And there is golf. The big leagues of the game, the big names, every year in Charlotte. The Kemper Open, played in early June over the Quail Hollow Country Club course. An all-time gallery favorite Arnold Palmer has played in all 10 Kemper Opens, an event that has become one of the most prominent on the PGA Tour and has offered some $2 million in purses and attracted 750,000 fans to Quail Hollow. But even stock car racing and golf must take a back seat in the hearts of Charlotte's fans when it comes to basketball, college style. It's the game that turns on this city the most. Charlotte's own UNCC has done much to inflame the hysteria under coach Lee Rose, whose 49ers have skyrocketed into national prominence during the past 2 seasons. First, the Mean Green exploded onto the scene with a memorable march to the NIT Finals in New York, igniting an incredible celebration on the team's return home, even though it had lost the title game to Kentucky. 1 year later, UNCC shed its Cinderella cape by smashing the nation's #1 ranked Michigan team to capture the Mid-East Regional Championship and a trip to the NCAA Final Four, a dream come true. And then only a desperation play by eventual winner Marquette kept UNCC from a crack at a national title. Led by Cornbread Maxwell, the school's first All-American, it was an almost for the Mean Green. But it was, in the end, a disheartening moment, but the sum total was one of overwhelming success. In Charlotte, UNCC was king of the hill in basketball. But just north of the city, the Davidson campus serves as a reminder that a decade ago, the Wildcats of Lefty Driesell had also fired a rocket of excitement into the basketball stratosphere. The Cats packed them in, All-Americans, top 10 conference titles. Then came hard times after the departure of Driesell and successor Terry Holland. Now the team is rebuilding under new coach Dave Pritchett. So the question arises again, why not the match between the two? Or perhaps first, why haven't they played each other yet? Dr. Tom Scott, now retired, directed the Davidson athletic fortunes at the time UNCC began its climb under then-coach Bill Foster and Terry Holland coaching the Davidson Cats.
Not really at that time. We, as I told you, we were interested in bringing in teams from the outside where we could go to recruit and teams that would make money. And UNCC was just getting underway. I knew they had the potential to become the largest university in the state, and I still think it will be at some future date.
We had everything to gain at that time, and Davidson had everything to lose. Lefty had built a great program. Terry was doing a fine job. And it's according to which side of the fence you were sitting on. You know, we needed that game. We needed the exposure. We felt like we could compete. At that time, they didn't need us. I did everything I could do, you know, short of having a controversy, and we never had that. We got along well. I got along well with Lefty, Terry, and Bo, and all of them. But we pushed hard to see those games develop, and I think we've missed some good ones that might have developed. But it's tough. It's according to what side of the fence you're sitting on. I think we're in a situation now where it's reversed, and UNCC probably doesn't need the games maybe as much as Davidson might.
The situation was a little different then. What was happening is we were calling Dean every week and asking him to play us, and of course Bill was calling us and wanting us to play him because it would have been a great advantage. So we used to tell Bill, well, when the university branch over at Chapel Hill will play us, then we'll play the other branch in Charlotte. And there was a lot of give and take. I think it really was a matter of when the schools could add something to each other by going into the Coliseum. At the time, we talked about it, and of course, Bill was wanting it. UNCC was not capable of drawing very many people in the Coliseum, and it was to no advantage for us to play in there and split the gate with them or anything else. And, you know, it came down to financial matters, it came down to prestige, et cetera, et cetera.
Those et ceteras are being hashed and rehashed by UNCC's Lee Rose and Davidson Athletic Director Tom Cartmill today.
The question of getting our program to a healthy state, and then I think we'll be ready to go with it.
We think the people in Charlotte would like to see the game, and we've made certain proposals which have been, they haven't been acted upon. But I think as they work through their problems, it's my understanding that they one day would like to play. We're ready to play whenever we can get together.
When the time comes for these teams to meet, and that time appears to be near at hand, the city has an ideal setting, the Charlotte Coliseum with over 11,600 seats. Over the years, Charlotte fans have filled this great domed arena to overflow for NCAA regionals, ACC, Southern Conference, and just last year, the first Sun Belt tournament. Many of Davidson's memorable victories were won here, with Lefty stomping these boards to a veritable pulp. And it's UNCC's new home court for the Sun Belt Conference. In just a moment, Bob Taylor and Bob Schellenberg take a look at how these teams should fare in 77-78.
When you travel the Carolinas, you quickly see that some things change very little, like this old covered bridge. And there's an old-timey type of bread at your grocer's that has changed very little over the years, and that's bossed Old Hearth. Nothing fancy about Old Hearth, it's just plain down-home, old-timey bread that's loaded with flavor. So rich, so tasty, the best and easiest part of the meal. So good, in fact, we call it the 3 meals a day bread. Old Hearth, another fine loaf of bread from the ovens of Bost.
Queen City TV is out to make sure that this won't happen this Christmas. This year, Woody Player joins with RCA and the Marine Corps and the Toys for Tots program. Bring all your new unwrapped toys to Queen City TV, and Woody Player will give you $10 off the purchase price of an RCA color track for each toy brought in. Woody says, buy RCA's best, the color track from Queen City TV, and help a child have a Merry Christmas.